takot sa iyong damdamin, ipamalas ang angking galing. Tumayong buong tapang, harapin ang buhay, akapin ang tagumpay. Tulungan ang kapwa't bigyang halaga, huwag hatakin ng pababa. Isipin huwag sana ang sarili lang, pakisama't bayanihan. Subukan nating isulong at ligawan ang magandang bukas. Ikaw at ako magkasama tayo sa lubungin ng kinabukasan.
UPLB Ad Hoc Committee for the 2021 Quincentennial Commemorations in the Philippines. Marami na po siyang assignment. Vice Chancellor for Community Affairs, Robert Sireno, and to the members of the Ad Hoc Committee, to all our guests and participants, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat muli. UPLB is one with the entire country in commemorating. At the same time, we honor our ancestors, especially Lapu-Lapu and his troops who have remained the paragon of Filipino heroism and bravery. I am pleased to witness today the inauguration of UPLB's own contribution, a unique contribution to the UP system's year-long Quincentennial Commemoration called Gahum sa Buot, Tindig at Pamana ng Bayan. With President Danilo L. Concepcion and our hard-working Vice President for Public Affairs, Ma'am Elena Pernia, in joining us all, members of the UP constituency, we take part actively in this quincentennial celebration. They're reminding us to put forward our campus expertise in organizing events that will highlight, that will retell stories of the country's glorious past. At first thought, the task ahead did not sound that simple. Ma'am Pernia explaining us at the PAC meetings, primarily considering the predominance of the natural sciences instead of the social sciences among UPLB's fields of expertise. However, it did not take long until we realized that it is in our strength in the natural sciences with which UPLB can contribute to expanding the very colorful, dynamic narrative of Filipino society, culture, and heritage in the past 500 years with the guidance of our experts from the social sciences and humanities. After all, UPLB has its own brand of history that it can share to the world, and that is the natural history of the Philippines. As a teacher of Philippine economic history, I can bear witness to this very expertise of UPLB. In the 10-part webinar series that UPLB will stage for the next 5 months, called UPLB MNH Baliktanaw, Kasaysayan at Kalikasan, we will be oriented with the biological explorations and scholarship in the country that took place in the past 500 years. And I'm very excited to witness this, which in one way or another shaped the very culture of science, not only in the university, but also in the country at large. We will also get to appreciate the beauty, the diversity of the flora and fauna of our country's spaces through time. Friends, I'm very delighted and excited to see that our line of speakers from the biological sciences will be embarking, and at least for today, in history. The task may be challenging, considering that the study of history requires years of training and experience, which we all respect and preserve. Hence, I commend our resource person for this attempt to contribute to the very understanding of the past of science in the Philippines and of making sense of this knowledge to appreciate how our science community and environment have become what they are today. I recall when I was taking up my graduate economic history under former president of UP, Dr. Onofre Corpus at the UP School of Economics. He elaborates on how dynamic our economic history is. And in the current narrative, I cannot overemphasize that importance of giving science and environment their own spot in the very grand narrative of the country. UPLB, with its niche on environmental science, resource management, biotechnology, agricultural sciences, I am very excited to make this grand narrative, make it more colorful. And in this ongoing time of pandemic, many of us have looked back at the previous status of the environment and at the past laboratory research to understand how this pandemic came about and how it can be solved. In UPLB, we have recently established the UPLB Zoonotic program to better understand these problems and challenges. Indeed, it is through knowing our past that we will understand the present and prepare for our future proofing. Aside from the webinars of our natural history, our colleagues from the arts, the humanities, and the social sciences have also poured in their knowledge and creativity to upcoming events, both virtual and physical, including exhibits. First is called Mga Salaysay, Guho at Yaman, ang kamanahang pagkalinangan ng Katagalugan sa pagitan ng dalawang daigdig, to be launched in June. The second is Baliktanaw, Kasaysayan at Kalikasan. That will be introduced in September. And I'm very excited to witness all of these activities. I enjoin all of you to take part in all of these activities. By joining in these events, you are also taking part in the entire country's commemoration of this historical milestone. At this juncture, I wish to thank all the members of the UPLB Ad Hoc Committee for the 2021 Quincentennial Commemorations in the Philippines, the workforce of the UPLB Museum of Natural History, and the Office for Initiatives in Culture and the Arts, and our experts from the History Division and the Department of Humanities for working together so hard to stage this worthwhile series of activities. I wish everyone an engaging morning. Thank you. Stay safe. Mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you very much, Chancellor Dong Camacho. Marami pong salamat sa pagsama niyo sa amin ngayong umaga. I can also see a lot of people via chat saying hi and hello. Of course, hindi natin masya-shout out lahat, pero gaya po ng sinabi ni Chancellor, we hope that we are all in this together as we commemorate, no, our quincentennial celebration. Of course, this morning, we are also very lucky to have no less than our Vice President for Public Affairs and the Chair of the UP System Committee for the Quincentennial, ang hirap niyong banggitin, no? Quincentennial Celebrations in the Philippines. Friends, please welcome Dr. Elena E. Pernia. Ma'am Nenny, kumusta po?
Hello. Hi, Mark. Isang magandang umaga. And thank you for the warm welcome. And I convey also an equally warm, mainit talagang panahon, but heartfelt greeting of good morning to all of you, not especially to our honored and honorable officials and faculty of UP Los Baños, led by Chancellor Camacho, VC Robbie Sereno, and nakita ko kanina si Director Marian De Leon at ikaw, Mark, no? And other members of the UPLB Quincentennial Commemoration Ad Hoc Committee. A good morning as well to my colleagues from the other constituent units of the university. Nakita ko kanina si Dr. Jerry Yapo and si Dr. Laura David, ang ating opening speaker para sa webinar ngayong umagang ito. Good morning as well, no, to my colleagues in the UP System Quincentennial Commemoration Committee mula sa Diliman, Manila, Los Baños, Visayas, Mindanao, Open University, Baguio at Cebu. And hello again to my fellow faculty, researchers, staff, and students from UPLB and from other campuses of the university. Chancellor, I am truly honored to participate in today's online events. So thank you for the invitation. And thank you also kay VC Robbie Sereno, ang aking kasama sa maraming komite, tulad na nga dito sa komite ng UP Quincentennial Commemoration Committee. Jubilee celebrations mean that anniversaries are in our collective consciousness. Anniversaries remind us of important events, both personal and cultural. Celebrating anniversaries gives us a chance to look back over the years since the event that we are marking and reflect on how it has shaped us. Remembering the past is an important part of understanding who we are. As the Philippine government has set it, this quincentennial espouses a Filipino-centric point of view of the first circumnavigation of the world. I quote the executive order which tasked the National Quincentennial to underscore the magnanimity, compassion, and humanity of our ancestors in helping the starving crew of the first circumnavigators the Armada de Maluco, also known as the Magellan Elcano expedition that traversed the Pacific Ocean, and the courage and bravery of the warriors in Mactan that inspired the heroes and martyrs who founded the Filipino nation and generations thereafter. Close quotation. Our UP Quincentennial Commemoration harkens close to that theme, titled Gahum sa Buot, Tindig at Pamana ng Bayan. UP's commemoration is collaborative, interdisciplinary, and highlights perspectives on the conquista from the lens on how we as a people understand our shared past and advance a holistic and inclusive history of the nation. Ang temang Gahum sa Buot ay nangangahulugang kapangyarihan ng loob. Ang konseptong ito ay naglalatag ng perspektiba sa kongkista, nagmumula sa loob, nakaugat sa bayan. Kasaysayang bayan at kalinangang bayan ang pamantayang balangkas ng pagdadalumat, pagsasalaysay at pag-unawa sa kasaysayan at pagkabansa. Close quotation. This quincentennial is commemorated throughout the campuses of the UP and from Baguio to Mindanao and throughout the whole world through the Open University. Each UP campus has put together a series of activities that includes academic conferences, trainings, cultural performances, art exhibits, and competitions using online platforms in the light of our current public health crisis. By my count, there will be at least 38 activities which began in March and will continue until November that commemorates the quincentennial. Kaya't nais kong magpasalamat sa lahat ng aking nakasama sa UP System Quincentennial Commemoration Committee na nagplano at nagpatupad ng mga samot-saring paraan ng paggugunita. Nagsimula ang ating komemorasyon noong Marso at tatagal ito hanggang buwan ng Nobyembre. Kaya't hinihikayat ko tayong lahat na manood, makinig at makibahagi sa mga events na ito. Ang kalendaryo ng mga UP activities sa Gahum sa Buot ay nakapost sa ating UP System website at sa mga websites ng mga bawat UP campus. Malaking pasasalamat ko muli sa UP Los Baños, lalong-lalo na sa ating lahat, kayong lahat na narito ngayong umaga. Without a doubt, the webinars and virtual exhibit of the UPLB Museum of Natural History titled Ang Pilipino sa Loob ng 5 Siglo, which has a sub-theme, Balik Tanaw, Kasaysayan at Kalikasan, will be a rich learning resource about the country's flora and fauna. The topics of the 10 webinars spread through today until September shows such an interesting diversity. In fact, today's opening webinar with its title, Adobo at Iba Pa, How the Oceans Shaped Our Culture, is really intriguing. Moreover, we look forward to the other events of UPLB in line with the commemoration. On behalf of UP President Danilo Concepcion and officials of the UP system, I convey congratulations on today's launch and in the continuing events until September. We look forward to the coming months and the hope that sometime this year, we might have an event where we can both be virtually and face-to-face present. Actually, the fact that we are virtually together at this morning's launch is testament to UP's resilience as a national university and our own commitment to knowledge generation and public service. So for today, let us join in the excitement of this learning journey on flora and fauna. Thank you, good morning, at ulit isang mainit na pagbati.
Maraming salamat po, VP Neni. sa inyong inspirational message. Alam nyo, tama po yan, no? Napaka-importante po ng pagtingin natin sa ating kasaysayan upang mas maunawaan po natin ang ating mga sarili at matulungan tayong tahakin ang landas pagkatapos nitong present, ika nga nitong kasalukuyan natin. Para naman po ipakita at ipaliwanag sa atin kung ano ba ang magiging kontribusyon ng UP Los Baños sa ating pagdiriwang ng ika-500 anibersaryo ng unang circumnavigation sa mundo, ay narito po ang aming Vice Chancellor for Community Affairs at siya rin pong chair ng UPLB Ad Hoc Committee on the Quincentennial Celebration in the Philippines. Walang iba kundi si Forester Roberto P. Sereno.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Director Mark. And thank you very much, VP Nene, Chancellor Dong, and to all our guests and participants in this webinar series. Well, magandang umaga po sa lahat. As UPLB's contribution to the UP System's Quincentennial Commemorations, UPLB events will comprise of two components. Number one is the Balik Tanaw, Kasaysayan at Kalikasan as a series of online and virtually delivered events, which aim to highlight the timeline of natural history as a field of science and study in the Philippines. The series will attempt to help the public internalize the importance of significant historical events which have ultimately shaped the Philippine environment and natural world. Today's webinar is for one very important. Sabi ng ating mga taga-museum, kung high tide lang sana nung dumating si Magellan sa Mactan, hindi nangyari sa kanya yon. So find out sa ating webinar number 1, which follows after this launching program at 10 a.m. The rest of the online learning events are scheduled until 22 September 2021. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. This component is organized by the UPLB Museum of Natural History, headed by Director Marian De Leon, and their curators from the different colleges and academic departments of the university. Some of them are here. Thank you very much for attending. And of course, their immediate past director, Dr. J.Z. Gonzalez, for helping in the conceptualization phase. And the component number 2 is mga salaysay, guho at yaman, kamanahang pangkalinangan ng Katagalugan sa pagitan ng dalawang daigdig. It's a virtual exhibit with photo essays focusing on several aspects of the interaction, blending, and conflicting of the pre-colonial and Hispanic cultures in the southern Tagalog area, also known as Calabarzon. The photo exhibit is a mixed current and archival photos with themes that manifest the interaction of cultures in Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, and Quezon provinces. Accompanying the visuals are some historical excerpts or essays. Although the online events will happen this July to August 2021, the on-site exhibition at the UPLB Sining Makiling Gallery will be set up after the COVID-19 quarantine restrictions. Sana naman, ano? These events are organized by the UPLB Office for Initiatives in Culture and the Art, headed by Director Jerry Yapo, with curators and faculty members from the Departments of Humanities, Social Sciences, and Agricultural Economics. Finally, I wish to acknowledge with much appreciation our UP Vice President for Public Affairs, VP Nene Pernia, for organizing these UP Systems commemorative events, and of course the funding. Thank you very much po. Chancellor Dong Camacho, members of the UPLB Ad Hoc Committee for the Quincentennial Commemorations in the Philippines, the emanates, OICA staff members, OPR and ITC, daghang salamat, Diyos mabalos.
Wala pong anuman at maraming salamat din po sa inyong leadership, Vice Chancellor Sereno, para sa ating selebrasyon dito sa UP Los Baños. Muli po, maraming salamat kina Chancellor Dong Camacho, VP Nene Pernia, and our Vice Chancellor for Community Affairs, Robbie Sereno, sa inyo pong pagpapaunlak sa atin ngayong umaga na ito as we launch our own celebration. No? Simulan na po natin ang susunod na ika-500 taon ng Pilipinas at gagawin nga po natin yan sa pamamagitan ng pagbabalik tanaw. Kasama po ang webinar na hatid sa atin ng Museum of Natural History. Pero bago po yan, narito po ang isang audiovisual presentation na ihahatid sa atin ng ating mga kasamahan dito po sa MNH. At hintayin niyo po dahil sa pagsisimula nito, tuloy-tuloy na po yung ating webinar. Let's play the video now.
In the last 500 years, Filipinos have fought for freedom, unity, and equality. We have made our mark in many fields, from science and medicine to culture and the arts. We are beacons of creativity, resourcefulness, resiliency, and compassion. In 2021, the Filipino people will join the world in commemorating one of the greatest achievements of mankind, the first circumnavigation of the world. We celebrate this historic achievement by bannering an important message. Over adversity and struggles, we shall triumph, putting humanity first, always.